Hello everybody and welcome back to the labs. I am Towsty and thank you for joining me here on another episode of Infinity Labs, a Season 2 Resident Raz-ish, series-ish thing. I decided to swap this out. Forget all the flowing water up here, just swap this out. That's where we ended off last time. Everything's been going real great and I think we're almost at the point where I want to move my dimensional miner system away from a dimensional miner system and move it into a quarry. And build the ender quarry. Now on our server in particular, the only quarries available to people are the arcane boar from Thaumcraft, the blood magic ritual that allows you to gather resources, let's see here, the dimensional miner, the ender quarry, and that's about it. If you want to use turtles and stuff like that, that's fine, but those are the only two quarries. And so we got a bit of work to do because I need to get an ender quarry up and going, but I don't feel like doing it in the mining dimension. I don't feel like doing that at all, and I want to silk touch it. So I got a bit of work to do for that. However, there's no point in doing that because I don't want to do it in the mining dimension, so I can't use, my idea for it won't allow me to use the wind turbines to power it, and it's slow and not very effective, so we need to start transferring our power. Last episode I didn't show you, in the last segment, that I spent a good amount of time upgrading everything. Like, everything has at least 8 energy upgrades, if not 8 speed as well. And so everything is running a much more technically efficient, but also consuming a lot more power because it's all fully upgraded. As such, we are blowing through the biofuel, like, just, oh my goodness, it's insane. And so we're also, I had to stack up a few more generators on here. I have also learned that my energy system's kind of inefficient. Yes, gas power generators can... Oh, we are still creating a surplus of ethylene though, which is awesome. Gas power generators apparently, using some gas, I don't know what yet, can output up to 560 RF per tick. We don't. We do 280 per tick per generator. Which is kind of silly because if you use the biofuel generators right now from Mechanism, they produce 260 each, and it's much less of this. Now, obviously, we're going to stick with this. We have the infrastructure. It's a little bit more, and it's awesome. So, that's interesting. I needed to bump up our wheat production, so I made this. And you may have seen part of this last episode. I'm not really sure. This is a forestry multi-farm. These have kind of gone by the wayside, unfortunately, and it's really quite sad that they have because they are like the best farm. They're just fantastic. They don't do a whole lot of like modded stuff, at least not that I'm aware of. There are a lot more electrons, so I could be very wrong about that. Excuse me. And by electrons, of course, I mean tubes. But the forestry farm is super fast. So I set this up last night around, probably got it fully functioning around 8 o'clock at night. And by 7 o'clock the next morning, so less than 12 hours, I had a completely full barrel of potatoes. I'm starting to run low on food, and I thought I don't ever want to run out of potatoes because they're just like the best food for me. It's really simple to get them and stuff. So I created this multi-farm to handle a lot of wheat and some potatoes also. Now, I just this morning added this extra, bit of, so when I came in, the barrel was full, and this entire farm, both wheat actually and potatoes, because it was clogged, their output was full. And so, and all the crops were fully grown. So I swapped out this barrel with an upgraded version of it, and I just kind of let it, reproduce itself, and in doing so we have 79 stacks of potatoes. So it went from 64 stacks to 79 stacks in a matter of minutes, just having a full farm and continuing to grow. Now I do have them augmented with a couple of lily pad of fertilities that I made last time, but that goes for both the wheat and the potatoes. I'm actually going to take these off the potatoes and put them just on the wheat because we don't really need them on the potatoes. And I don't have any particular like area for doing this. So here's how this works. We've got some farm blocks here from forestry. These aren't too bad to make, these are a couple copper, a couple tin electron tubes, or a tin, some stone brick, or whatever material you want to make these out of. There's other kinds. And wood slabs. Right? That's not bad at all, actually. At all. Tin electron tubes, just tin, couple redstone makes 4 with some glass in the thermionic fabricator. Ignore this. NEI is a little derped out right now. And you need, well, there's different sizes. This is the largest one, so you need 5 by 5 by 4, which is 100. So you need 100 stone brick farm thingies. Obviously, there's other kinds. I'll show you those. So you can make them out of quartz, which would be insane, but pretty cool looking. Bricks, sandstone, and that's about it. And then there's matching components for each of these. I'm not really sure what the function of having these different bricks is. Like, if it's just an aesthetic thing or what the original intention was, or if maybe they can go beside each other on top of it. I don't know. But we want the stone bricks because we had access to a lot of cooked stone. So this is the top layer of the farm control block. Now the farms don't just, they don't set themselves up completely. So you can see that here, this layer of stone brick. I had to lay this layer of stone brick in this formation and then give it dirt, and it put the dirt down. This is the largest one. This is coming from the farm block 15 blocks across, right? So for these 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are 15 blocks in length. And then you just kind of, so you draw these branches out, that's the way I do it anyways, and then you just kind of draw an angled line until they connect up and you know you're right, and you fill in the rest. As far as the water and stuff, it automatically does that. And these require quite a lot of setup, obviously. They require quite a bit of stuff to get running. And no, they don't have to be this big, but once they're going, these are massive and they're so fast. So I'm pretty sure that the MFR tier 11 upgrade would probably be more actual like square footage of, or square meters of crop space, but the rate that it grows on harvests is relatively slow, because it grows naturally, and the way that it harvests is just by scanning like block by block across. It doesn't actively, as soon as something's grown, it doesn't chop it down. It has to get to that block in its scan before it'll chop it down. This may have a similar function, but it seems to be a bit quicker at it, and so it grows and harvests and replants very fast. So I don't really have an access to the down below part yet, but this is a good spot to do that, almost. So here's what I've got going on. Firstly, we've got some transfer pipe with some potato and some poisonous potato filters. So potato goes up here, poisonous filter goes in the trash, and then we've got this transfer node pulling apatite out. I don't need this. Right? So we've got, sorry, not apatite, industrial fertilizer, just called fertilizer. And if we come down this dark and dreary path, we come to the underside of our farm. I know, it's not very glamorous down here, but you can kind of see the full effect of the farm. So, let's pull out a couple more lights just for you guys. There we go. Okay, so this needs a few things, actually. This needs to have your structure, your 5 by 5 by 4 structure of farm blocks, if that's the size you want, and then a farm valve. It also needs a, well, it doesn't actually have to have these things, but, well, the valve, it really should. No, it doesn't have to have any of these things. You could do this all manually, but if you want to automate it, you need a valve, you need a hatch, which is what you can see in behind here. And you also need a gearbox. Now this it has to have, really, because there's not another way to power it that I know of. So if you come over here, we'll look at the hatch first. The hatch has a transfer node pulling out with some speed upgrades. I'll probably turn that into a stack and increase the speed a little bit. Well, it does keep up with it fine. Never mind. List all veggie. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what adds that. And then below you see this, it's not really connected, but it technically is. We have fertilizer. So the hatch is your in and output point for items. In order for the farm to run, you need to give it fertilizer and seeds and dirt. Now there's a lot of different configurations for this. So this applies to like your basic stuff, your veggies, your wheat, your things like that. Trees are a little different. You gotta be a bit more careful with that, but for right now, this is how we have it set up. And we'll be making more of these, and I'll probably do one on camera at some point, but they're really kind of a dull to watch build because they're so big and they take a long time, so I did it off camera. Okay, so we've given it fertilizer, which is coming in here, even though it doesn't look like it connects, and we've given it a bunch of seeds and different things. So the top left here is its supply of dirt that it can use to create the farm. I could take this out now. Nobody would be the wiser. And then here is its supply of seeds. This will fill up with planting materials before the output does. So if I've got seeds in here, the seeds will be extracted from here and used to plant. Once this hits 64, 64, 64, they'll come down here as output. So this is your output slot. All right. Now, if you don't have the valve or the hatch, you would have to manually put items in and water. This requires water to run. Now, how much water it requires depends on the climate. Much like the bees depend on the climate, the farms do too. And that kind of makes sense. If you're running in a hotter climate, say you put this farm down in a desert, this is going to consume a whole heap ton of water because it's a hotter temperature. The other thing it takes into effect is the rainfall in that area. So over time, it kind of looks at the rainfall and how long it's been since rainfall and sort of tells you how much water it's going to consume. We have our lovely tube here, which for now I did this way, and I'm still not entirely certain why I did it like that. But this just shoots little like globulars of fluid like items. And this is just a regular item tube, just called a tube, right? With a fluid extraction tube hooked up to this. So this is our pump system to get water into here. Pretty cool. And that's it. That's the whole farm. And then on the other side, you saw we had a couple of turbines. How do I get out of here? I'm stuck. Let me out. There we go. Just clean up my mess a little bit. And we have this farm. Now this stuff's just decorative, obviously. These are just multi-parts and things, so not necessary at all. You don't need to light this up. I just like the way it looks. So that's kind of the farm. There is a little bit more to this. When you create the farm multi-block, it shows you 4 saplings here for trees, not this. And for that, you need to create a circuit board. Now, forestry circuit boards, there's different kinds. There's basic, enhanced, refined, and intricate. Okay, so you see that there's 4 different items here. Basically, basic circuit lets you set 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like that. What you need to do is create tubes, and it's best just to look on the forestry wiki because I don't know there's anywhere in game that explains this. But you gotta get yourself a soldering iron, right? If you right click a soldering iron without touching it on anything, it opens up this. It says board missing. Now, there's different things from forestry that can take these circuit boards. One of them is electrical engines, and one is electrical stimulators. I don't know what this is, but the managed farm and the manual farm are 2 other settings that you can use. Basically, you take your tubes, not tubes, the mod, just tube. So you take your electron tube. I'm not sure what these ones from botany are actually going to do for us. I'm going to look into that in a little bit. I just saw them for the first time. They seem interesting, sorry. But for example, for the potatoes, for the vegetable farm, you needed a bronze electron tube. And for the wheat, you needed iron. And what I did is you have north, south, and east and west, I think. Wait. So this is north. Scratch that. It's gonna be Yeah, that's right, actually. North, south, east, west, I think. Something like that. It could be west, east, could be south, north. I don't know. But that's the idea. North and south and east and west. And the reason that's helpful to know is because this is going to correspond to north, south, east, and west. And why that's important is because it's obviously a big circle. The north and the south, and I just learned this. I was talking to a tree about this because it wasn't working for me. I had my vegetables up here first. The north and south only plant in this 5 by 15 area. They don't branch out into these corners. So they just kind of have these straight columns. And then the east and west ones, they fill up the remainder of the farm. So that's why I have my potatoes like this. I'm thinking about changing it again, to be honest. It's created so many potatoes so fast, and I really could use more biofuel production. We're gonna see how adding these lily pads, how it goes for us. I do have the cable pulling the wheat all the way back here, and it's kind of a silly system. It's just dumping it in this chest. Now these poisonous potatoes are not supposed to be here. They shouldn't be able to get here. I need to double check something. So, you take your electron tube. So I put, I believe anyways, we want a managed farm. Managed makes it automatic pretty much. I believe I put iron, iron, bronze, iron to get that. And then once you've put your tubes in, you put your circuit in here and it goes and it's done. Now I'm talking about changing it here. This is not that well known, I guess, at the time when I was first learning these, like back in 1.4, 1.5, when these were the automated farm, like the automated farm. In order to change this, you have to pop this circuit out, and you do that by picking up your soldering iron and clicking on it. So just toot, toot, and it would pop it out, just like that. You don't hit it with it from here or anything like that. You just pick it up and left click on there, and it gives you back your circuit. And so that kind of takes care of the forestry multi-farm. We got a couple wind turbines. They really don't take that much power. This is probably a surplus. Yeah, big surplus. I should look up and see how much power they use, but I'm okay chucking down a couple wind turbines there for now. Let's see here. Let's have a look-see. Get rid of these poisonous potatoes. They shouldn't be making it into that chest. The whole function of this was to hopefully build up a surplus in that barrel down there of wheat. I can't believe that we haven't done that yet. I mean, actually, I can. Now that come to think of it, that's kind of silly of me to expect already, because this processes it so fast, and so does this, that we're going to have to fill up that bedrockium drum of ethylene first, which that ain't happening anytime soon. So in order for me to get to my quarry, to start working towards that, the first thing that I really need to worry about is energy transfer. Now, before we and this is actually funny because I couldn't find it. For this, I told you this is the resonant extruder, right? Which means I needed some anderium and some signalum. Before we rolled the server over, we had a shop, right? We don't have that shop anymore. We've taken that out. It was kind of just something that wasn't necessary and made a lot of people get, because it had like 64K storage drives and stuff in it. It just made things really easy to get through, and people were not automating a whole lot. I don't know, I think it took away the fun, and it was the general consensus is we wanted player shops instead, set up our own stuff to sell. Before, when I was making this, I knew I needed anderium, and I had bought a whole ton of anderium to make the strong boxes in the old shop. I don't know what happened to anderium at the time, but I couldn't find it, so I made more, which is how we have a bit of resin ender. So when I put the crafter down to start working with my bedrockium, I found my anderium. So I do have a whole bunch of that to start making tesseracts with. And I'm going to take another stack of quartz here and throw it in our alloy furnace. Start making up some glass for me. But let's just do this. I want to make a couple tesseracts. Last series, it was very much... very much anyways. There we go. I use dimensional transceivers from Ender.io, and I'll still use those from time to time for different things, but for energy transfer and stuff, we're going to be using Tesseracts this time through. And I'm wondering if to get my... No, it wouldn't be. So what I have to do now is take my fluid... Do I have enough, I wonder? I think it's a bucket per one. Let's take our resonant ender. And we're just going to plop you here. Let's see what kind of tools we have. Mechanical pipe. That'll work. In this most recent episode update of thermal expansion, there's actually this really awesome configuration setting that is this one, which is it can go both in and out of that, which is pretty fantastic. It's to automate both input and output at the same slot. But there you go. Oops. But yeah, it's that's kind of that will be handy eventually. Let's just see how many we can get out of this. So this should just take 1,000, I think. Perfect. So we have enough. All right. And then you take your full Tesseract, plop, plop, and you get yourself some silver and some bronze. And you're able... There you go. You're able to get yourself a couple of finished Tesseracts. These don't stack when they're done properly. So... let's see, we're just going to cruise right along here. I guess let's start working on the Ender Quarry. No, this... oh, I forgot how much I hated this recipe. Okay. Oh, let's explain this before I do that. This guy. So we're going to start working on our bees a bit more here soon. And one thing that I needed for that is a lot more seed oil. And instead of using my... I know I have tons and tons and tons of just regular seeds to squeeze into seed oil. Tree has been doing a lot of tree breeding. So I tree fish there. He's been doing a lot of bees and tree breeding and stuff and forestry as well. So we've been having some fun chatting about that. But he has chestnut trees, and they're actually genetically modified chestnut trees. Let's go find us a sapling. They're quite good. Well, I mean, they're really good. So, sweet chestnut sapling, which if we take out, well, when he gave them to me, I could tell. For some reason, I can't anymore. But they're set to be, like, he's done some modifying and applied some traits to this tree to make it a bit more fruitier. So I've got a fruit picker here from MFR. I put this upgrading because I really wasn't sure. It's not necessary. You just have to hit the trunk at some point. And I put one of our energy cubes over here, and it's just been picking overnight, and we've got 11 stacks of chestnuts. Chestnuts are great for squeezing into seed oil. Can you eat these? Yeah, you can. So chestnuts you can put in here into a squeezer, and it says it will make big reactors yellorium. Not the case. What it actually makes is seed oil, and a good amount of it as well. And we'll also be getting mulch, which we can use in the farm. So that's pretty cool. Instead of this industrial fertilizer, which is apatite, which we have to mine. It's apatite and sand, and it's a high yield, but we still have to mine it. And so, let's just take a look. Any of our... I found these just down below, actually, the shaft that we keep falling through. So, the Ender Quarry. The bane of my existence. This is one of the greatest blocks. This is one of the best quarries. This is the best quarry, in my opinion. But, oh my word, the crafting recipe is annoying. that up. I hope that doesn't turn into glass. I don't really know if it will. Oh shoot, it did. I need a couple more quartz. Smelting factory. Here we go. And this is upgraded, so it should actually be quick. Yeah! I love these things fully upgraded. They're so good. So good. So good. Okay. Ender quarry. Endothermic pump. We can make a couple of. No problem. Diamond pick. A couple endothermic pumps. Need some more of this. We're gonna need a few stacks. A couple stacks. A stack probably is fine. Yeah, I guess you could call me that. Let me craft this up and I'll be right back. So one of the things that is required of the Ender Quarry, which is why I hate crafting it, is magical wood. Because it's such a pain to get. This is one way to get it. This is a very expensive XP way to get it, but it is a way to do it. Magical wood is basically, you need some enchanted books, a bookshelf, and some gold. The enchanted books, the higher the level of the enchanted book, so like if it's a Fortune 3 or an Unbreakable 3 or 5, whatever they get up to, if they're all like level 4 or 5 enchants, you get more than one magical wood from this. You get 3 or 4, or kind of a thing. The reason this is expensive is because like 40 levels of experience just turned into 3 magical wood, and I don't feel like crafting off a bunch of books. So that was kind of annoying. Now, let's just chunk these back in here. We've almost got enough. So now I gotta go hunt around and see if I can get some more experience to pour into here. So we will be back again in a moment. Alright, let's see if we can finish this off then. Perfect. I managed to find Mono's base. Mono's base? Horse base? One of the two. And borrow some experience. Because I couldn't be bothered to hunt it all down. Alright, yeah, so a lot of the guys have brought over a lot of things. A bunch of them brought over their XP farm and stuff like that. Let's get some of this ender infused stuff. 8 of them, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 4? And that should about do it for our ender quarry structures. Oh, no, not quite, actually. The other thing that we're going to want, ender quarry, is a silk touch upgrade, right? Ugh. So now we got to figure out how to get ourselves a silk touch pick. And we need this, which means we need another burnt quartz. Perfect. What's it called? Ender infused obsidian. That has to happen in a QED. Okay. Why no crafting? Oh wow. Let's try this, I guess. And go. We didn't update anything that would require... Oh no. Oh no. Excuse me, sir, I need to borrow your cube. Please don't tell me that I have to power these. Where's my wrench at? Okay. This is strange. I guess we'll just break it and replace it. And go. What on earth? All right, let me see if I can figure this out. And using this lovely system, what? Oh. We are able to get our Silk Touch pick. Oh yeah. So let's get the Silk Touch add-on. Okay, and now we're mostly ready. The only other thing we have left to do is something I have to wait till nighttime for. And we'll probably be waiting till the next episode to do. So next episode we'll do a portal to the deep dark. Which we need to have an activated division sigil to do. To get us a few things. It'll get us a builder's wand, which I've been desperately needing. It'll also get us our portal to the deep dark and possibly a couple other neat tools, depending on what we need. So we'll go like this. We'll go like this. And then all I need to do is go and capture me some sort of sacrifice. Do I have a safari net? I do. Now there's usually a cow or two wandering around near my base. Of course, the moment I actually need them. Aha, cow. Come to me, the cow. Get in my safari net. Oh no. You're a lucky cow. Safari. I don't need to. I won't make the same mistake twice. I'm gonna get that cow though. That cow. Is that the same cow? No, this is the same cow. Listen, buddy. This was just meant to be. Now it needs to be nighttime for this to work, so we're gonna have to wait up until that point. Must not be lit too early. Perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna wait here for a moment then. We'll be back. One of the issues with playing on a server with a few people, and any given moment there's probably 3 to 10 people on this server, is nobody likes playing at night. And with our sleep voting system, it's automatically day as soon as somebody sleeps. And so instead of just doing the whole ritual thing, I have Soak Touch on my shovel and Vein Miner and would have just grabbed it all. I just had to spawn myself in the same amount of dirt that I placed down as Cursed Earth and an activated sigil. And that's actually the same thing that I had to do with the Ender Quarry because these weren't crafting at all. So I was able to get the Soak Touch and everything, but I wasn't able to get the base component or the actual markers, which is what we need. So unfortunately, there won't be any glamorous ending tonight. I will work on getting a portal to the Deep Dark set up and a quarry going, hopefully in the next episode. Until then, though, I have been Towsty. I hope you enjoyed watching and hanging out here in the labs. Be sure to check out InfinityLabs TacoMage and hang up your logos on the way out. I'll see you next time. Deuces!